Good evening. It's Facebook Love number 214. I hope you're doing well. It's definitely winter here in Chicago. I kind of love it. We put on our stompy boots and tromped around the neighborhood this morning, and that felt good. I find myself today thinking a lot about the aftermath of what happened at our Capitol on January 6th. I feel like there are very different impressions of what that day signified. To me, it was a massive trauma. I could scarcely look at the TV screen. I could listen to the radio, but I could hardly look at the TV. I was bodily disturbed by the violence and the yelling and the really horrifying imagery. And I hear quite a few voices saying, oh, it's in the past. Don't look at it, don't think about it, move on. But I just can't do that. And a few videos have been released from, well, more than a few, but I've seen a few videos released by people who were in the building while that was happening, and the ones that really struck me were from Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, who is a young woman and quite an outspoken representative from New York State. And she spoke eloquently about the physical danger that she was in and how immediate it was. She was right behind a door while a mob was yelling, "Where is she?" and trying to hunt her down, and they'd been shouting that they wanted to hurt people. And she's certainly a target. And she said something interesting. She was talking about people trying to push all this aside and relating that to the language of the abuser. When you've been through a trauma, as small as bullying, as large as assault, etc., oftentimes the perpetrator will tell you to get over it and move on. They'll even gaslight you into thinking that it didn't even happen, and what you're saying didn't happen. But it happened. It's only been a few weeks. So the poems I'm doing tonight are about that feeling of somebody trying to make you feel crazy, or how can you survive? How do you process something that created so much stress and pain? This first one is a poet named Gregory, or a short piece from the early 2000s called Trauma Storm. Hunkered down, nerve numb, in the carnal hut, the cave of self, while outside a storm rages, huddled there, rubbing together white sticks of your own ribs, praying for sparks in that dark, where tinder is heart, where tender is not. Trauma Storm by Gregory Orr, from a collection called The Caged Owl from 2002. This other one is a bit newer. It's from 2017 by Maggie Smith, called Turbulence. The sky shakes us like a shoe with a stone inside. Even the smallest stone hurts. In the white rumble of clouds, the flight crew plays the wrong recording. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be departing soon. Years ago, I would have taken that as a sign, but today I forgive the voice, forgive the air, the sky, ombres from sunset, whole rainbow at the horizon, even green to black in minutes. My reflection, a silhouette of light in the dark window. I try not to think too much about the physics, whether we are the shoe or the stone shaken from it. Somewhere, a boy looks up and says, "Airplane," seeing us now. Forgive his mother, the mother I've been on the ground and will be again, where her inadequate explanation of lift and thrust and gravity. What keeps us in the sky? How we got there. How we'll come down. Turbulence by Maggie Smith. I thought about what trauma does to us, what it does to cultures, and what it does to bodies and minds. Often, if you've experienced a trauma, each time another trauma occurs, especially if it's similar, it makes layers. And so you sort of re-experience layers of trauma when you're in the middle of a trauma. And then trying to recover from the trauma requires this sort of reverse onion, sort of placing the armor back over yourself. And I wonder what our country is doing right now while we process the trauma of what happened on January 6th and the years that we had of bullying speech and mean-spirited politics and evil actions toward those with no power. We all have a lot of work to do dealing with the trauma, and I don't want to look away. I want to get in there and work on it so that I and we can feel better. This is Facebook Love, and I'll see you again.